Good morning, St. Lucia. Thank you for joining us. You are watching This Morning here on DBS, and I am your host, Chayla Mendes. Today we have Mr. Hilary LaForce here with us. He is one of the directors here at the Folk Research Center. And you know what? I guess you didn't know, but it's actually called the Harold Simmons Folk Academy. So giving you a fun fact here just before we jump right in. But thank you so much for being with us. How are you doing today, Mr. LaForce?
Yes, it's pretty good, and it's nice seeing you again.
Fantastic. Well, of course, it is the Creole Heritage Month, so we are pushing everything local, and the Folk Research Center is an integral part of our Creole heritage activities as well. So if you can let us know, and of course the rest of St. Lucia, exactly what happens here at the Folk Research Center.
Well, first of all, let me give you a brief history of the Folk Research Center. It was established in 1973, and it actually began by some young students from the St. Mary's College, along with a tutor at the time who was Father Patrick Anthony. Now it's Monsieur Dr. Patrick Anthony. And the young students and the teachers sought to do some research on St. Lucia's culture and heritage, as well as the history of St. Lucia. And these young men went all around St. Lucia interviewing people, different people about the culture of St. Lucia. And as time went on, others joined them. Initially, they used to use the offices of the Parish Center before they moved into a building on Lance Road. And some 20 years ago, we were able to buy this building where you are right now, and that is Mount Pleasant, the building which belonged to the DeVos at one time. Now, the Folk Research Center basically, its basic objective is to promote the research in St. Lucia's culture, to attempt to get persons generally to appreciate St. Lucia's culture. At the same time, we teach about our various cultural forms at the Folk Research Center. So basically, we're just about 43 years since we're in existence, and we have amassed a wealth of information through research. We have a library, a very comprehensive library, as a print library, as well as an audio-visual library that has over 2,000 hours of material from all different persons in St. Lucia on the cultural activity and different cultural activity. So in effect, the Folk Research Center is the repository of all cultural activity in St. Lucia. Now, over the years, we have established, in fact, just about 5 years ago, the Harold Simmons Folk Academy. And this academy, what it does is to teach our people about their cultural heritage and all the various activities involved in our cultural heritage. And for example, we are very strong in our Creole language. The Folk Research Center teach the Creole language. For persons who can speak the language but don't know how to read and write the language, we're able to teach this. And one can learn to read and write the Creole language as long as you can speak the language in 4 two-hour sessions. Wow. All right? And if you're not able to speak the language at all, you can learn the language over at least 3 months. Now, the other areas that we also teach at the Harold Simmons Folk Academy, for example, like dance, that's our traditional dance, our traditional music, our cuisine, how to cook our local foods, even alternative medicine, what we call Wimedoisier, and several other activities that we do. Since the announcement of October 20th as International Creole Day, and that was done in 1983, the Folk Research Center, by virtue of its mandate, embraced that initiative. And we had the very first year, we had a discussion on the Creole language among various radio stations in Martinique, Guadeloupe, Dominica, and Lucia. But the very next year, we thought that we should have a bigger celebration, and so we began the Journée Creole activity. And the very first time it was held in Mont Repos, and that year we declared Cécile Descartes as the Queen of Culture. Now, at the FRC, we are now running a program of cultural education, particularly for schools, and it began last week with the launch, and we have our sponsors who are the Bank of St. Lucia and the National Community Foundation that are providing us with some assistance, and we are inviting schools. We've had schools come in to this area under the Harold Simmons Folk Academy, teaching them about masquerade and about our storytelling and culture. We also do music and culture and a wide range of subjects.
Well, fantastic. Now, you see, there's so many dynamics to our Creole heritage, from the music to the dance, the way they would dress, the Creole technologies as well. And this is, again, the fundamentals here for the Folk Research Center. Now, we as St. Lucians, sometimes I think we have the perception that, here's just a site for tourists to come and visit. But guess what? We're always looking for something to do, something fun with the family. You can come over here and visit and experience, get to learn even more of our culture and expose yourselves maybe to other things that we didn't know. So if you can quickly let St. Lucia know the operating hours and times and contact numbers so more of us can get on over here. Of course, it's Creole Heritage Month, so you need to come down here and visit and just delve in our culture.
Exactly. Well, first of all, we are at Mount Pleasant. And those of us who don't know Mount Pleasant, it is that hill after you pass the Rambally's funeral parlor heading towards Leclerc, before you start descending the brow of the hill going on to Lance Road. There's a road on the right side of the road. There is a notice or a sign saying up to Mount Pleasant, the Folk Research Center. We in this large, beautiful building out there. It's over the European type buildings of many, many years ago. Very suitable for our culture and what we do. And we are open here from 8:30 Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 4:40 in the afternoon. And on special occasions, we also here on the weekends. And so we provide all kinds of opportunities to come and see what we've got. We have exhibitions of various personalities of our people, things that people want to look at in the early days, what we use as, our ancestors use. Not that we're saying you should go and use them again, but at least it's important to know your history and your culture. And that is what we're trying to do. It's important, as the famous Marcus Garvey said, a people without the history and culture is like a tree without roots. And so it's important that we understand our culture and who we are, and the Creoleness particularly in ourselves.
St. Lucia, what's up? Good morning to you. Guess what? So I am in Gros Islet. So Jacques Gros Islet, big up yourself. I guess we're at the community center, and it's all about the Creole Theater Workshop going on. And with me, now you see, I have Richard Ambrose here, but I know him as a fashion guru. We've seen him on the stages for Haute Couture. We've seen him as a mentor for Bayfest with the models as well. And now in the capacity, a more cultural capacity, I should say. So first of all, thank you so much for being here with us. How are you?
My absolute pleasure. I'm doing great, and we're trying to share the knowledge, especially with the youth, the Creole knowledge. So this is fascinating because this is my hometown roots. So that's where it all started for me, right here in the community center.
Now, I'm even more intrigued because, of course, out of a lot of the people we've had on the show so far about our culture and our heritage, Richard, you're actually one of the more youthful persons. I'd say we'd have more senior people on, which is amazing. But it's nice right now to showcase, again, younger persons loving our culture, loving what we do with a passion, and, of course, spreading it with more persons. So just tell us exactly what the Creole Theater Workshop is all about.
The workshop for me is really important because I've learned, especially from traveling when you go abroad, that it comes into question, who are you? Who are you as a St. Lucian? So the workshop for me is really giving young people, individuals who are interested, that knowledge, that information. Who are you as a St. Lucian? The influence of Derek Walcott and his poetry, the events that fashioned him as a writer and how they affect us as young people in St. Lucia. The dual language, the Creole, whether we can speak it fluently or not, but when we begin to appreciate it and realize we do understand a little bit more than we know, and sometimes we bite our tongue trying to say the things, but then after that, we come to a realization, okay, it's a second language, let's learn a few more phrases, let's drop a little bonjour here, or sakafet, veite, and the phrases that come in our music, we know what they are. So it's that, in addition to some discussions I've had with friends about our local dances. Everybody knows the quadrille, and then a little tongue-in-cheek, I say quadrille is not a dance. Quadrille is a set of 4 dances, figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, figure 4, that ends with a guan. And having gone to school in Guadeloupe, you start learning the similarities with the cultures when you see the national dress from the other countries. So the workshop is about that, learning a little bit more about us so we can appreciate who we are as St. Lucians, as Caribbean people. And this being Cultural Heritage Month, we have a little bit more to be proud of because we understand what it is we're celebrating.
Fantastic. Now, you see, I couldn't say it better myself, and I love this initiative. So what exactly takes place? Take us through, the different aspects that make up the workshop.
Okay, first off, I have to commend the Grosley Cultural Committee and the Town Council because this is born through them. They saw the need to have something like this. And what we've done with some friends, because you have to always call on your friends to help you, is those who know about cultural dance and those who have an appreciation for dramatic arts. So on a morning, we carry the speakers on our back, we open the community center, we get the keys from the council, and we just wait for whoever is coming because it's a free workshop, it's open. You come today if you're interested, if you feel vivacious and ready to go. We do some drama exercises, some warm-up exercises, just getting everybody to know one another and then learn a little bit about the instrument as an actor, using your voice, getting over the shyness, and then we go into the script. So one of the pieces we've been learning or using is Ayuna Mabuya Valley, which is a poem by Derek Walcott that I just love ever since I first heard it because it's about Creole. It's about a fishing village very much like Grosley, and it's a story about a woman and everybody looking for Roro with her, and she don't care, and she have her two children. The man went to Curacao, she tell him, Vin West, he say Timama la sao. So that usual story, we know what that's like. And when you hear the Creole language and people speak in it, there's a different flavor.
It is so true.
So,
it's colorful. It's even if you don't
Exactly.
understand it, it's so entertaining just to listen and to watch. And there's certain things I always say that you will say in English that just does not have the same effect when you say it in Patois and you drop that in Creole. You know?
Exactly. Sabon, ibon, la ibon, di ibon. And little phrases like that that have become part of our culture. So the workshop is about sharing that information, passing it on to the younger generation so they're a little bit more knowledgeable of Creole, about our lives, our culture. And when they celebrate Junior Creole, they know what it is they're really celebrating.
So you see, again, sticking with our Creole Heritage Month, we're keeping it local. And you know what? This initiative, again, I have to stress on that, is free.
Yeah.
So people in Grosley, people nearby, come out. You have nothing to lose. And you get to develop your skills, especially in the arts. So you have theater, you have dance, you have poetry, but it's infused with our Creole, our culture. So I think this is amazing. You guys keep it up. And of course, St. Lucia, come out and check it out every Saturday,
Yes.
ongoing for the month of October, correct?
Right, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the community center.
All right, and again, it's free. We love our freeness, so make sure you come down and again, learn our culture, develop your skills in the arts. It's great for young and old, all right? So this was your exclusive right here on This Morning. Richard, thank you so much again
My
being with
pleasure.
us.